Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. So, we've had a live stream in between the last episode and this one, so we have progress. First of all, we have a new mining ship. It is a large grid size, which means it's actually big enough to do things. It's equipped with a jump drive so that it's independent from the Surveyor over here. Did have to scavenge some of the materials from the Surveyor in order to get this functioning by the end of the 3 hours. Don't turn off your jetpack. It's got an ore detector, connector, conveyors. It's got Mark 1 and that's tier 1 engines at the back, tier 1 engines for top and bottom, tier 2s for front facing, left facing and right facing thrusters, because there's only one of each. It moves pretty damn good. It has 2 tiny azimuth fusion reactors, 3 gyroscopes, which I've toned down so that it doesn't use as much, and can hold quite a bit of ore, and has 4 drills, which is very nice. Very good for mining iron and things like that very quickly. Got a very large capacity. I have yet to name it. I'm thinking a Prospector Mark II, though I think it should be a different class since it's a large ship. Alternatively, I could do Prospector Mark II, but yeah. It's the new mining ship. I'll probably try to colour it, but I'm very bad at colouring. And then onward to the stuff that we've done on the station. We have kind of placed out this kind of grid outline thing for, well, on stream we did these 6 other hangar bays, and then off stream I did the other 7 on the other side. We are going to do some on the bottom, but only when I've actually finished the design of the top will I actually start designing the bottom, and then I will build the others, because the design of the bottom is going to be, well, going to need to be different, because you're going upwards instead of downwards when heading to the main floor. This episode we are working on the interior of the hangar, which is kind of granted. But to begin with, we're going to need a temporary supply of power, so we're going to give ourselves a small reactor here. It's temporary, but it should supply all the power we need for the grid, and it affects the entire thing. No power cables required. So let's get some uranium and fuel that, and then we shall start building the things that we need to build, such as the doors. That's the wrong search term. No, not that. Here. Reactor. Thank you. We've got plenty of uranium, because that mining ship is very good. We'll throw 10, because that's all we need. Yeah, and I'll go through the design of how things are going to be. So, first of all, we need a kind of hangar door, or a force field, I prefer, that will block ships coming in and oxygen going out when there's already a ship in there. It's basically going to be the same hangar door that we use for the Surveyor, except it's going to be larger, which is also known as the force field door 6, because it's 6 high, and then it also includes the force field block, so it's actually 7 high. So first of all, we're going to need to get rid of this. For some reason all my inventory's disappeared. That's not good. Oh no, that's because we built the reactor. Never mind. Calculating things incorrectly. But yeah, we've got an elite grinder which is going to ridiculously improve this. Look how quickly it just grinds. And then we're going to place down these force field doors, and then we'll set up a group, and then yeah, so that's the doors finished. Good. Right, let's place these in. Just going to need to flip it around a bit. Good. Right, you should be correct, except I need to place you in the center. Now I need to flip you around. There we go. So we should just place it like this. I'm just trying to get a better angle. There we go. And so this should give force field door on the bottom layer. Good. And then we just need to weld this all, which I've handily calculated, which is going to require about 5,250 steel plate. So let's get that. You can go back in there. I need 5,250. Probably not going to be able to fit all of it in. No, going to have to do multiple trips for that. And then we also need 600 construction components, 600 small steel tube, 240 motors, and 30 computers. Of course, yeah. I don't have all of them. Go back and get them more. Right. I will be back once we have welded this thing. Right, there we go. That's all the force fields done. So now we just need to assign that to a group, which we can do using the nuclear reactor, because of course it does. We want to get all of these and do them as the... We're going to need to set these as a different hangar number. Currently this will be hangar door 01, because this bay is technically the first one. So if we save that and then show block and terminal off, then that should be good. I'll rename all of them so that we can access them individually and be able to determine which ones are part of which hangar, but for now it's fine. So we should be able to close it, and a glorious blue beam, yes, because it's massive. I don't know how far the run distance is, so we're just going to drift off in a second whilst I talk about something else. So the next thing that we need to do, and one thing that's going to require me using a programmable block, is I want there to be kind of colours that show up whenever there is oxygen or there isn't oxygen inside the hangar. So when it's green, you're like, okay, it's oxygen, well, it's oxygen enriched, so therefore we can go in and not die without our helmets on. Whereas it will go red when oxygen is being drained or still being vented into the room, or when there's no oxygen in the room at all, so like when the door is open. Which is going to... yeah, I'm going to need to learn a bit more C# and the API for this thing, but I will show you that later. We just need to get the lights in. And we can automatically do it using groups, but I want to program it. So, if we turn these off, okay, so that's the hangar door done. And we can actually use the mining ship as an example. So we could, the mining ship that we have there, can fly into the hangar. It's small enough in its horizontal axis. Even though these hangars are meant for like small grid-sized ships, we're going to have different bays which will carry large ones at some point. But for now, we'll do these small hangars, and these hangars can actually hold a lot of small strike craft, but these are usually for corvettes to transports. Anyway, right, the next thing we need is we need a way to get down. So in this corner I am going to place an elevator. Ooh, it's a mod, everyone says. Yes, it is. This is the elevator mod, and I'm using a 4-high one, basically so it looks better. And we want to place it here, so that the top floor is at the top and the bottom floor is at the bottom. Just need to check that we've got it the right way round, which we don't, because the last thing we want is we want it upside down. So flip it over. That's not flipping it. There we go. You will be able to tell because it has those hand railings on the top floor. And then we just need to flip it around, go down, which is actually going to require us placing down a temporary block, which I don't have any steel plates for, so we're going to need to get some steel plates. Yeah, so we're going to have, I'm thinking in the end multiple elevators, so like 5 or 6, because only one person can go in the elevator at a time, and I can only really demonstrate it. Oh, I've already got the steel plate. Okay, I can only really demonstrate it when I've got a gravity generator, and we're going to sort gravity generators in the future, but not right now because it's complicated. So if we place this here, and you're like here, so we're going to have like the top 2 blocks is going to be kind of a walkway, and then if we go downwards it will go into the main hall area, which will be this kind of floor section. And then underneath we will have the larger hangar bays, because larger hangar bays. So the way that this works is you press the button on the outside and it will force the elevator to go to the nearest button, if that's right. Come on. I pressed the thing. Oh yeah, it needs to actually be built. Yes. Silly me. Yeah. I was acting like, yeah, it's built and everything, but no. I'm stupid. Right, there we go. We're going to need a significant amount of stuff. So let's weld this up and we'll be back in a second. There we go. Right, so that's welded. So if I, for instance, get inside, this is going to be really bad for me because there's no oxygen. And also it's got some Z fighting, which is basically the Z axis. It's complicated on how that works, but yeah. So if we turn the jetpack off and then we activate the elevator, this elevator should be moving downwards. If there was gravity, then this wouldn't be so awkward. But yeah, it goes down and then it will open the door and then we can get out. Ta-da! Magic. And basically when you press the button on the outside it calls the door, and then if you press the button on the inside it swaps to the other one. Fairly simple, but making a mechanical contraption using pistons is a lot more difficult. So we've got an elevator in the back corner, which is good, and then next we're going to place lights everywhere, because special lights. To be able to actually achieve the red and green light problem, we actually need to have 2 separate lights for each section, which is where we're going to use the extreme interior light. Even though you can probably see perfectly, I can see perfectly in here, but that's because of the graphic settings I've enabled. These interior lights are basically just for colour. So what we want to do is we want to kind of get a uniform. So if let's have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have 5 gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip this around so it's the right way round. No. Am I right in there? Because I'm probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Stupid me. Can't even do my own lights properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Then let's go to the other end and do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if you get the picture. We can weld these instantly. No, we can't. No, they're going to require a lot more stuff. Wow, expensive. I didn't realise that these were expensive. Well, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's coming out of my paycheck. Yeah, so I'll weld these up at some point later, and then we'll be back to do the colouring stuff. Okay, we're back. So I've just welded everything together and grouped it all. The naming convention that I'm using for this is light, then the hanger number, then the colour, and if we show blocks in if we show, then it'll have 1 through 12 because there's 12 lights in each one. So if we demonstrate what this is, let's go to control panel, hide all of those. So if we say want green on, then we go green on, and there you go, green, it's on. It's a clear indicator. Possibly not the best way of doing it, but it's a way until I think of something better. I might not, but you know, I've got to have something. And then we can turn those off, and then we go to red and turn that on, and then you've got red. Very nice. So basically it's going to be red with the door open, and then green with the door closed and the oxygen in. So what we need to do next is we need to run the conveyors, which are going to be expensive, kind of. We just need to plan what we're doing. So if I turn off the lights because we don't need them, that's all good. So we need to think about the placement of the connectors, because most ships aren't going to have the same thing where it's either on the bottom or the rear. So my first thinking is we need a connector here, kind of in the middle, so that ones with rears can come rear first and dock, and then we need one on the ground in the center. If that works, it should. Yeah. And then we might need some on the sides, but other than that, that should be enough. So we need to get connectors. We're going to need plenty of connectors. Connectors require steel plate to place, and then we need conveyors. So we need conveyor blocks, and we need conveyor tubing. All of which I believe use steel plate. No, conveyor uses interior, but yeah. So we should be able to do that and plan it out, and then in between episodes I'll weld it all together. So we need a ample supply of steel plate. I'll probably take the interior plate and steel plate, because we have more steel plate. So we need to mark out where the center is, which I'm going to take as, it's going to be a bit forward of the end, but that's fine. We're going to go, so that's 5. So if we take the center to be here, and then we take the center to be here, we can easily trace back where everything is, if I can actually count. So here should be the center. Okay. Which means that here should also be the center. Okay, so the plan is we have one on the ground, one here, one on that wall, one there, and then we link them up with connectors, and that should be good. And then we also need an air vent as well, which we'll probably set up at the far wall. Okay, right, let's do that. So we need to grind down this way. Okay, oh yeah, I'm at maximum capacity, which means I'm going to need to dump some of my stuff. Silly me. Shouldn't bring a full inventory. Don't run at full speed, otherwise you'll die. Right, I need to throw like 5... Let's throw 500 away. That should be plenty of room. Then let's do this. And then we also need to connect it to a reactor, but we'll do that when we actually place in a reactor room. So that should be good, and then we want one here, which will also link up to the other one, so that it's connected, so we'll go down the middle here. It allows, you know, mechanics to go throughout the ship. Mechanics also meaning me, because inevitably there's going to be something wrong. This side, however, is going to be hung... no, it's going to go out too as well, because this kind of surface area that we've not filled in is not the end of the station, it's just the end of the hangar section. That may sound confusing, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. Or at least I think I know what I'm doing. Right, so that's good. Next we need to place the conveyor, so let's throw this guy here and the conveyor here. That was a stupid idea, because now this is free floating. No, it's not free floating, it's part of a station, so it's fine. Shush. Right, so if we throw the connector here, that's good. And then we need to get these guys to come all the way around this corner. In fact, we'll have it like close to the end, because then we can have each conveyor separate for each hangar, so we won't connect the hangars together until we get a central system. So if we get you, flip you around, bring you this way. Should be on the same Y level. Yes, we are. Okay, and then we need to throw one of these. That's good. In fact, to keep things airtight, we actually need to use conveyors. Don't ask me why, but we need to. Then we've got hidden in an armor block here. Conveyor placed here. Let's get rid of this. There we go, continue, and then this should get back to the conveyor at the middle. There we go. And then we can have a pipe going outwards into the kind of central pipeline, which will go downwards onto this level, like this kind of bar, and that should be good, and it will head to the one of the ends of the spaceport, so that you know, one of the ends where the cargo containers are going to be, because most of this area is going to be commercial kind of area. Right, and then next we want one of you here, because we're going to be placing an air vent. So let's get an air vent. No, that's not how you spell air, you idiot. So we want one of the conveyor air vents, because those are, you know, flush with the wall. So if we place you there, flip you around so you're at the right angle. There we go. And then we'll be able to weld you properly when we need to. And then we just need to fill these guys in, and that should be the completed section. Obviously the reactor's not going to be this reactor, the one on the exterior, is not going to be hooked up because well, it's temporary. So, oh yeah, we need the bottom one as well. Stupid me, thinking that we were finished, and we're not. Throw you there. Grinder, please. And head this way. Yes. This is why we have the 2 high instead of 1 high, because we need conveyor pipes coming throughout the top. So past the elevator, and then we need to have you go upwards. And I can't change the direction for some reason. There we go. There, right, all of those are linked up. I just need to weld them together, and that should be a working system. So that's that, which is very good. Yeah, so air vents use the conveyor system, and we'll probably, well, we'll need some sort of program block for each hangar so that we can check separately for each one. I'll have a look at writing some code, but I don't want to bore my viewers to death with lines of code, because I know how boring that can get after you've been working on one problem for about 10 hours. Right, there we go. So that's kind of the layout of the hangar. Let's get rid of these extra blocks that we don't need. So yeah, it should fit most small ships and some large ships. We'll build different hangar types on the lower level so that we can house kind of larger mining vessels and larger freighters, but the massively large ships, such as like a capital ship, will have separate kind of docks for them that are off the station, and then have shuttles go towards the station filled with cargo and personnel. So apart from the hangar, the other things that we need to do, we need to do the grav rail at the top, which is for the patrol craft, and we need to do the living quarters, and we need to do the second type of hangar, and then I don't know if we want another grav rail here. We might have something else, possibly just regular fighter craft come out here. Yeah, come out of here. So this would be regular fighter craft area. Might be cool, might not, but other than that, that's the hangar, which is all you need to know. So yeah, we've got lights, we've got a hangar door, we've got conveyors which I need to weld in, and that's the completed hangar. Hooray! Next episode, I'm not sure what we'll be doing next, but I will try to start construction on the other hangars so that we can get all those done. But apart from that, I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.